Hello, and yeah, we're finally back. It's been about 10 or so weeks since I've last really uploaded a video, and I've had probably about 9 or so races in the THL since then. But for those of you who don't already know, I'm now formally retired from league racing. It's been 2 years. It's been absolutely exceptional, and I'm planning on doing montages on both my leagues. But yeah, this is unfortunately the end. But I had these recordings in the background anyway, and I thought I may as well just upload them because there's quite a few good races in the last few. You can see getting pole actually in the first race, which we're going to be showing, which is the Hungarian Grand Prix, albeit on the ultra softs compared to Kozier's softs, but a pole is a pole. And yeah, we've been much better in qualifying this game than the last game. It's just race pace in general with tyre wear and tyre temperatures, which has been really our main issue on this game. But you can see he immediately jumped by Kozier into turn 1. That wasn't my biggest fear. He's probably going to beat us anyway on this strategy. I was just trying to now hold down P2, and considering Hungary is a track which I hate beyond anything really, it's a bit like the Monaco without the walls. I was just really trying to sort of hold on to a good position, but you can see by lap 2 already, Kozier is beginning to pull away, and I actually already was beginning to struggle for traction. You can see a slight bit of a kick there as I exit the corner. And you can see as we skip on to the end of lap 2, again the car absolutely kicking, and I'm going to lose a position to Sanyets as a result, and maybe even Cryptox as well, as he's lucky to recover there. We went right into the grass, and traction on this game, we could have even lost it there, as again we're going to try to wrestle with the car, and Cryptox is going to have a chance around our outside. We're going to try to defend, but it's all going to pot now on lap 2, as our car's coming absolutely everywhere, and from pole position we find ourselves already down in P4. We've got Wattmaster already up our inside as well. We're going to have to live in room, and we nearly swerve right into him, and all of a sudden our tyres are literally melted, and this is why I've had so much problems this season. Once again, our tyre wear, and this was the worst so far in the season, and well, luckily it was the worst for the rest of the season as well. But lap 2, the tyres already overheating. I haven't squirted the throttle too much. These are relatively new tyres, and already they're beginning to squirm, and sure enough we get a slight cut, we extend a bit, and that's us into the rule. And after 3 laps our race is already over, and we're going to skip right on into Spa, not staying on to watch the rest of that race. I was just quite frustrated. So here we are now at Spa Francorchamps. A better track for me, but again Eau Rouge has made this track somewhat unplayable in this race. So yeah, here we are now. My initial banker lap was good enough for P4, but I was set on trying to improve that. But you can see again going off on the curb and actually going to the wall. I think my initial banker lap was on full traction, and it's just easier to use in the rain. And you can see as well towards the end of the session we're going to let past the Mercedes here, so you're going to have a clean lap. So yeah, we actually wait quite a long time, but as we're going to let him past, you actually get this and next lap invalidated, which I was really annoyed about because I just let him pass. So we actually fell down to 6th place as a result, which is quite frustrating. But we're going to start just behind our teammate Jaeger, and yeah, I was just the last few races really, I just wanted to get as much racing as possible. I mean, I knew that it was going to be hard to hold down P3 in the championship from.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start.
My best, but you can see, unfortunately, yeah, that's another race where, yeah, I don't know. It's the first time my internet really played up in a long time, and unfortunately, I disconnected from that race, and that was all she wrote for Spa. So yeah, the last 2 races not being too great, and considering I really want the best finish possible, it's not looking too good, and you can see again. Just mucking around really in qualifying, only qualifying P9, just not able to get a good lap in before the rain, just again making traction impossible on the softs. But here we are now, starting from 9th on the grid. We've got it all to do. We had a really good comeback drive around this track in season 14. Can we, of AOR, can we pull it off in THL now? You can see already, I think that was Icebreaker, and somebody else going off to the side, so that's 2 positions for us. We're going to see if we can break late, but oh, unfortunately it's a bit too late. We go into the back of one of the Renaults. And now we literally getting ping-ponged around. And Sanyets is going to get us to pull back down to 9th, make that 10th. So we've got Lucario Freak up our inside. And yeah, once again, it's, the amount of times I've lost my front wing on the back of people in the last 2 games is just unprecedented. But yeah, we are where we are. And another comeback drive is on the cards. But again, this is one of the races as well. After the last race, I just wanted to use full traction for a bit, because although, after notably Hungary, because I just wanted the tyre wear to be good enough so that I wasn't getting excessive tyre temperatures. I wasn't having to worry about the car snapping every lap, which is basically what happens when you're in medium traction control. I mean, one lapse of concentration, it's all over, which is just impossible to keep up for 45 minutes. So for this race, I just decided to go full traction, and you can see as a result, we're not quite as fast. But again, we were going to go up the inside of both of these guys, but I just sort of just coming across us a bit, so I didn't want to get squeezed. But unfortunately, he had actually gone to the gravel and spin out. So, and Marcus was also have quite a slow run out of that corner, and yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but we will get that position as well as another retiree. This time, Keyboard retiring from the race, and we'll pit on lap 8. I was planning on doing the one stop, so just taking the tyres to the end and just seeing where I could come really. I didn't have really the best start, so just trying to get a good finish to this race, and hopefully some racing if possible, considering I think by now I'd only had about 7 rounds remaining, 6 rounds remaining, so it's just trying to make every single round count right now. But again, I just lack the motivation for both this and AOR, to be honest, especially due to, you saw at Hungary, I mean, the fact I'm getting tyre temperature issues on lap 2 of a 35 lap race, it just made this game unplayable for me, and I didn't feel compelled to practice, and it's just a shame because I still do have a passion for league racing. It's just I just don't feel compelled to commit to a game which has all these issues. But you can see going on the mediums, because we picked quite early, but that would leave us at sitting duck in the second part of our stint. So we were P5 momentarily, but Mickey Hunt will get us back, but then he'll bin it himself, so we'll back into P5, and that P5 would be where we would finish. A lot of scrambling going on behind us, but no one, well, you can see THL Icebreaker was a long way back, and finally actually getting a finish. The first time in quite a few races, because of course all of these issues and stuff, but finally, well, back in the top 5, but yeah, it wasn't the best race, and you can see the podiums there. Jaeger and Kozier at this point were well out of my reach in terms of the championship standings, which was a shame because we've had a really good beginning of the season. I mean, despite me not really liking the game, I could have been up there, probably not too close to Jaeger, but it would have given me more motivation to really push for these races. But I mean, now I was sort of scrambling for P3, I didn't have anything to really go for. Yeah, now on to Singapore, and this was really unfortunate because I'll give you a bit of spoilers. I actually had a really good race round here, but after the race I actually realised my recording corrupted, so we're going to actually look on board with THL Icebreaker. You can see I actually started up all the way in P2, even though I'd actually lose out off the start to Ventrox, my well, championship rival really, and Pixelmeister would also get me. You can see up ahead still, I'm just trying to fend him off. I wasn't really that happy because he went for a bit of a dive bomb, as you can see as well. Pixelmeister trying to get Jaeger, my teammate, who actually had quite a bad qualifying, so for once I'm actually doing slightly better than Jaeger. Of course, I actually had that really impressive win in season 14 of AOR, well, the one season where I was actually competitive in, but you can see I managed to cement P3 up ahead. Meanwhile, Icebreaker is on an absolute charge up the field. The reason why I've sort of chosen this footage really, firstly because he allowed me to use it very kindly, and secondly because he was my biggest rival throughout this race, and you can see he gets 2 overtakes in 1. Brilliant stuff from him. He's just behind Pixelmeister, who's now going to bin it into the wall on lap 4. So Icebreaker now P4 behind us, but I think he had a bit of an issue with, I don't know, wing or something, so he had to pit. But I know he's got phenomenal pace, especially as I think he, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's using a wheel, which is definitely beneficial around a track like Singapore. But still, I knew that I had some pace around here, and although Ventrox and Ventrox and Kozier were disappearing up the road, which was rather unfortunate because I really wanted to bring the fight to Ventrox. I knew I still had a podium on the cards if I can fend these guys off. But you can see Icebreaker just absolutely dominating his way through the field, getting past Jaeger once again. And that's no mean feat considering Jaeger's the championship leader. But no, he would make light work of Jaeger, light work of Cryptox, and soon would be behind me, albeit quite a long way once he pit again. But still, I was on the softs and him and Jaeger were on the ultra softs. So for the last few laps, they're about 14-15 seconds behind me due to prior issues. But if I'm not careful, these guys can hunt me down quite quickly on the Thresher tyres, especially as my pace is not as strong around this track as, well, some others. But you can see it didn't take Icebreaker long. Well, it took him towards the end of the race, but he managed to bridge the 15-second gap. Jaeger, fortunately, isn't close enough to us. We actually look like we're going to beat Jaeger for one of the first times this season. But unfortunately, we probably won't be able to hold up Icebreaker on the newer tyres. Even so, we do a magical move around the outside. Late braking there just to defend our position. And actually, Icebreaker loses the car a bit. But I actually picked up a bit of damage a few laps earlier. Sort of just panicking, really, as I was trying to defend. And this is going to make the last lap really hard to defend from Icebreaker. Especially as he's probably got less penalties than us. So it's probably futile, but this was racing nevertheless, and considering this was probably my best race in a long time, I was going to try to make this last lap count. As you can see, just defending like my heart depends on it. But Icebreaker is going to try to go for the outside. He's going to go for the cutback. I'm going to go slightly deep. We're going to go side by side, but he's got the inside line on the fresher tyres, and it's going to be really hard for us to hang it around the outside. And I think he's got us up the inside, and indeed he has. We're still there, and he's actually going to go slightly askew on the curb, and I think we'd always run into the back on him, and unfortunately I think we tagged a back marker because we just weren't expecting him to sort of bin it on the curb. But yeah, that would be enough for Icebreaker to get his podium, but we will still get P4, our best result, and another top 5 finish after Italy. So finally, our season looking like it's going to turn around, albeit Ventrox still a long way ahead of us now in the battle for P3. I haven't got the exact standings, but I'll put up the final standings at the end of the last race. But you can see now on to Russia, a track where I actually got my first win in AOR. But yeah, since then, yeah, it's just gone downhill around this track. Just too easy to pick up penalties, especially in this game. And yeah, you saw I was actually trying to give Jaeger a slipstream on his lap, and I got a massive lag spike and binned it into the rule. So yeah, I mean, the reason for that, I mean, the same thing happened in Singapore qualifying, despite me actually getting P2 overall. But an explanation for that is Jaeger actually told me that if I turned VSync off, my tyre temperature would improve around this time. And I really wanted that to happen because, of course, you saw in Hungary, tyre temperatures have been my bane the whole season. But again, whenever I turned off VSync, that would happen. So I later found out that the tyre temperature didn't really help, that I was using a, well, I think I was using a really high, very low tyre pressure setup, which really increased tyre temperatures. But yeah, I'll find that out at a later date. But meanwhile, I didn't have the best luck. Once again, getting front wing damage into turn 1, and on lap 2 we'll bin it into the wall, and once again our tyres are absolutely falling off a cliff, reminding me very much so of Singapore. We're going to pit again, but yeah, so not Singapore, Hungary, and you can see we've got front wing damage. We're going to have to pit. Our race is pretty much over already, and on lap 5 you can see already, long way behind. We're going to bin it on another corner as well, and yeah, this right now the race is definitely over. I mean, not only am I out the points, but once you spin, you have a look at the tyre temps. The tyre temps are just not stabilising anytime soon. And yeah, I literally, you can't drive once it's above 105 degrees. And yeah, crashing into the wall was inevitable. So unfortunately, that'll be another write-off. Which, considering I had probably at one point 50 races finished in a row, and in AOR, even in the points, this has been a really sort of disappointing last few races. And again, we're going to nearly continue our feat by nearly crashing into the wall. But we would actually put quite a nice lap together towards the end of the session. We're going to do it on the super softs. I'm not really worried about committing to extra pit stops. I just wanted the best qualifying possible, really. So I wasn't really too fussed about the strategy, especially as I hadn't really practiced much. And for those of you who didn't know, this is probably notoriously one of my weaker tracks on the modern games, due to yeah, just sector 1 being a real sector. But still, we'll until then we're actually having quite a good qualifying. But we would actually fall to P6 overall, and yeah, just really including this clip of Ventrox, my rival for P3, clipping the wall and then proceeding to reverse across the line for his qualifying lap. So it's not really going to be getting a fast time, but very stylish indeed. Again, we're quite a long way off the top 5, so we had a lot of work to do in the race, and I'm actually the worst qualifier of the super softs, but still, it was a long race ahead of us, and yeah, just trying to get the best result possible, really. If anything, try to beat Ventrox, and so we know he has the pace over us, as we saw in Singapore. And yeah, after the last few crash outs, I think he's got the he's definitely got the advantage over us going into the last few races. As you can see already, nearly going into the back of Marcus's, but learning our lesson as Marcus plunges himself up the inside of 2 cars, including Mikuhan up ahead. So very nice move from Marcus. It's a bit bold and ambitious, but again, we're going to slot in for P6. It's been not the best start, but normally I lose position, so it's not that bad. We can see the guys up ahead going side by side, and Marcus is, oh, he had such a good start, and unfortunately he's had to, he's trying to go for a, well, Mikuhan's trying to go for a move on him, and he's unfortunately yeah, sort of come worse for worse. But you can see a few laps later, Ventrox going off onto the gravel, and we're going to put a move around the outside of our rival. It's going to be short-lived because he's just a bit faster than us around this track, especially as he uses the wheel. But we're going to still try to put a resilient defense around him. One of the best battles I've probably had in a long time. And again, we're going to defend from him. So I was really happy with that. Around the outside, I know he had poor momentum, but to commit to that move on a corner where you don't normally overtake, I was hoping now we could actually bridge the gap to Mikuhan. And although Jaeger and Kozia, they've just been in a world of their own for the last half of the season. I was hoping a podium could be on the cards, but we was quickly hunted down by Cryptox, who's actually on the softs. So he's going to go for a long stint. So he's going to be very dangerous in the later race. But we kept with Ventrox really well. But the only problem is that we know he's got pace, so he's probably going to pull away from us now, which is very unfortunate. Again, managing to maintain his gap in the pit stop phase, it's just we're not close enough to jump him. And again, you can see Mikuhan's going to rejoin ahead of us. So right now, I'm in a four-way scrap for P3, which is very intense indeed. But my pace is just not there, unfortunately. I mean, if I practiced a bit more, I definitely could have probably secured this podium. But again, you can see Diego Montero getting in our way a bit. He's let Ventrox pass, and he's actually going to do the noble thing. He's going to let us pass as well, which he doesn't really have to do considering we're fighting for the same track position. But very wise stuff from Diego Montero there, and we'll take the position. Yeah, we went for a move on Ventrox. He managed to defend and really just pulled away. We got the undercut on Mikuhan, but yeah, the only problem is that now he's exiting on very fast tyres, and he's quite close to us. The two stop working quite well in this game actually, as we'll see a bit later on in the season. But again, you can see we're just trying to defend from Mikuhan now, but he's actually going to try to pull alongside us here. We're trying to leave him space, but we only see him last minute, and I think we might have actually tagged him there. So I didn't steer across to him, but maybe I was slightly squeezing him. But I don't know. Whatever happened, he's in the wall, and I really felt guilty after this because he was definitely guaranteed a podium over myself. I mean, he didn't report me. We talked through it. Looking at his perspective, it did look kind of bad. Even so, from my perspective, I don't really think I looked in the wrong. But again, it's never really nice to secure a podium on that. And the reason why it is a podium and not a P4 is because Jaeger and Kozia, I don't know if you saw on the mini-map, they actually collided on the penultimate corner. And Kozia would actually later get disqualified for that move and would not come back to the league. So a massive turn of events really, especially for the championship, because Kozia would have been right behind Jaeger going into the last few rounds. But the fact he got disqualified, he just didn't feel compelled to come back. He's still guaranteed P2 due to his dominance in the last few races. But that would actually give me P2 this race. Undeserved. I probably deserve P5 overall, but a P2 is a P2. But it just giving Ventrox the win further cements his position in P3. Here we are now for USA, which has been notoriously a good track for me. So qualifying 6th out of 12 after that last lap being disqualified, unfortunately. So we're going to get quite a good start. We're going to jump Lucario Freak. We're up into P5, and we actually gain positions for once. We're going to go quite deep as well, trying to defend from either side of us. But we got a car on our outside, car on our inside. We actually defend really well. Jaeger's been funneled down a bit, so we're right behind our teammate really. And you can see Ewan's back as well. The last time he was really here was when he had that sort of incident with Jaeger in the the beginning of the season. Back when I was actually fighting for the championship. But you can see Jaeger's going to get past Ewan. No actually incident between them. Even so I say that, but then Ewan runs into the back of Jaeger. And oh my goodness. He half spins on Jaeger and comes right across to my path. I couldn't do anything. And that's my race ruined. I've got a bit of front wing damage. I'm facing backwards. I've had to do a complete U-turn. And now we've got literally me, Pixelmeister and Ewan all at the back. And yeah, Pixelmeister is probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the league now. Yeah, now Kozia's gone, so he bolted up the roads. I had Marcus as well, pit, and he bolted up the roads. And yeah, after that lap one, it was looking so good. I could have got a podium from that, but no. Yeah, Ewan just being a bit ambitious on the back of Jaeger and coming across my path. I mean, no one's really at fault there. It's just a bit of unluck, a bit bad luck really. We tried to get Lucario Freak around the outside, but it didn't really work. And so we're going to get a good run. We're going to pull to the inside, and one of our better moves, you can see Mikuhan's lagging a bit. But again, Lucario Freak's going to hold it around the outside, so credit to him. I've tried to leave him all the room, and still we're side by side. We're going to have to hold it around the outside of this corner. He's going to give him the inside corner line for this corner, and he's going to actually throw it up the inside. Really going for it, cutting off our path a bit, and also having a bit of a lag spike, which is a bit annoying. This is lagging all over the place, which isn't really doing us any favours. We're going to try to launch it up his inside, and that's us up into P9. I think I might have picked up a bit more damage from that, if not from the earlier incident. So, again, we can see Lucario Freak coming up our inside. He's going to try to go for another move. He's managed to keep within our DRS, but we've defended quite well. Again, just trying to keep on the back of Mikuhan. But as we go into the pits, we're going to have to get a front wing change as well. I don't really see any better than P7 on the cards, really. Which is a shame, considering this is one of my better tracks. And as I'd already confirmed that I wasn't actually going to make one of the last 3 races in the season, this would actually be my 3rd last race. So the fact that it was going so poorly, really, and I had Mexico next, it wasn't looking great. Even so, around this time as well, I sort of asked if, because I was going to miss Brazil, I asked if they could switch Brazil with Abu Dhabi, because Brazil is pretty much my favourite track on this game. One of the only tracks I can actually fathom. So, yeah, the THL admins were actually really nice on that half, and they actually did move the race. So you'll see the last race on this video will be Brazil, and it's just a really fitting end, really, to, as it was my final league race, AOR and THL. It was just really nice to end it on a track which I love so much. But you can see Mikuhan actually disconnected, so that'll give us a free position, and we would sail across for what would be P7 in the end. I thought we could lose out to Lucario Freak, who actually kept us honest in the last few laps. But my 15 seconds of penalties, for once, actually wasn't too many. Just showing how stupid the penalty system is in this game. The fact that the guy behind me also got 18 seconds of penalties, and the average penalty was probably about 9 seconds. Only Jaeger, really, getting away without a penalty. But, I mean, he's just a robot after all. Mexico only saw 7 people turn up, of which we would actually qualify, well... I say 7 people, we just actually didn't set a time in qualifying, and I think an 8th person joined, so we actually start P8. So we're doing a last the first challenge, but at least it's going to be on fresh Ultra Softs, and for a penultimate race in the season, we're just trying to get the best result, really. As Mikuhan's lagging once again, we're going to try to get Thiago Montero. He's on the harder tyres. You can see Mikuhan, I don't know what happened there, but everyone seems to be off, and we're just going to take 3 positions as Mikuhan's into the wall. We're going to try to get Lucario Freak as well. Of course, he put up a fight last round, but again, we're already up into P4, and yeah, trying to hunt down the podiums, boys, now. But you can see, again, Lucario Freak really trying to fight us. He's really been trying to give us battles the last few rounds, and you can see Ventrox actually up ahead. He was in P2, but he actually disconnected, which is probably going to guarantee us a podium now, because we're a bit faster than the guys that behind us. But Icebreaker and Pixelmeister up in front, just a bit too fast, really. Especially Pixelmeister, he's just been so dominant the last few races. So along with Jaeger, so yeah, just really skipping on to lap 33 because nothing really happened. We just had it. We kept our gap over Cryptox. He made a few mistakes, and we're now pit on to lap 33. A perfect pit stop, really, just as DRS is disabled, and you can see the guys ahead. Actually, Icebreaker on the Hypersofts. So he actually made a new pit stop around now, and I knew that I could jump in for P2, even though he's about 30 seconds ahead. And yeah, I was actually beginning to get quite excited, albeit I wasn't really focusing because I was P3 for most of the race, so I had quite a lot of penalties. But still, you can see Icebreaker in the pits, and we would actually jump him, albeit, yeah, it's going to be quite futile, because not only is he faster than us on these new tyres, but most likely he's got less penalties than us, because I think by now I had about 4 or 5 penalties. And it's a shame that penalties always decide the outcome of the race. And but it is what it is. And one of the other reasons why I'm not really a massive fan of this game. I mean, I still will I still will probably do racing games. I mean, I'm unsure what to really do with the channel. Because F1's been basically the only content so far. But as we cross the line, it will be P2 on track, but P3 overall. As Icebreaker, yeah, just had less penalties than us, really. 6 seconds less to be exact, and he would get a well-deserved P2. Mixermeister dominating the scene by 45 seconds, but yeah, I didn't deserve P2. I P3 the whole race, and although I had a good strategy call, Icebreaker deserved that P2 more than me, so I'm not really fussed. And yeah, that was our penultimate race of the season, which meant as we head into our final race of all time, which will be Brazil, the track to end it all, a wet qualifying as well, which suits my expertise, but it's full rain, and unlike 2017, I don't feel confident to go on medium traction in the full rain. Medium traction's a handful in the dry, let alone in the rain, but we're going to use Jaeger's setup. We're going to use a setup which isn't minimum tyre pressure, so hopefully we're going to have good tyre wear. We're mimicking Jaeger's setup. This race was about beating Jaeger. I mean, he's had the better over me the whole season. He's been probably my greatest friend and rival the last few months. and we actually initially set the fastest lap on full traction. We tried the lap on medium traction, but unfortunately that sort of went skew if, as you can see, a tyre boller sort of going crazy. But that's our aim, to beat Jaeger. We had a practice race with him in which we were within 5 seconds of him, which is closer than a lot of the times. And yes, I do actually mean a practice race. I actually practiced for this race, not as much as I probably would in the early days, but I still put in about 2 or 3 hours on the Saturday for this race. And you can see already going green. It was actually going to dry up towards the end of the session, so I just wanted to put quite a nice lap on the full traction right now and sort of go for an even faster lap, maybe in the medium traction a bit later on, because of course you can see already on the inters, because it's drying out quite fast. Actually, to be honest, it was inters from the get-go, but it was sort of a crossover period, but now it's definitely inters. As you can see, our lap is looking quite good so far in full traction. It definitely helps to go full traction in the rain, and yeah, we've only got about 7 or so runners this race, so I was really hoping for the win. That and beating Jaeger really was my main 2 goals, and having a really good final race, just getting as many battles as possible. And yeah, I didn't want to have to worry about tyre wear, tyre temperatures, conserving, so I was going to be bold and go for the 2-stop. I mean, the only way I can make the 1-stop work with my level of tyre wear was soft mediums, so although Jaeger said he can do super softs to soft, I knew that was not possible for me. So we're going to go into the pits now. We actually tagged the wall though, and I was actually really shocked, because yeah, I really wanted to do another lap and go out and just go even faster, but we got provisional pole. Jaeger probably will beat us though, but no, he crashes into the wall as well, and that meant at the end of the session only Marcus could beat us, but he actually only improved to 2nd, and only 3 people set their lap. So yeah, really lucky there, considering I crashed out midway through the session. But yeah, everyone else seemed to be crashing out as well due to the rain. And it means we will be starting our final race on pole for, I think, a 3rd pole position of the season, which is more than last game, but just, can I convert it? I haven't been able to do it so far this season. I've only got the 1 win on this game. Can I make it win number 2? Lights out, away we go for the final race. We got Marcus's and Jaeger behind us. Marcus is going up our inside. Of course, he took us out turn 1 Monaco at the beginning of the season, but this time he's going to be clean. We're going to defend up the inside, and that's us keeping P1. So we've done the hardest part. We survived turn 1, but we're going to have to defend from him still. He's going to have the slipstream into the 3rd corner. We've got a few yellow flags though, so that might mean he refrains from going for a move. He's not put off still. We have to leave him in the room, but we're going to get him around the outside. And after 1 lap, we're already beginning to bridge a margin, and I just knew I had to bolt for it now. Be as clean as possible and just pump in the laps, and you can see that's exactly what I was doing. And for once it looked like I might actually be one of the fastest here. 3 fastest laps in a row, and Marcus is still keeping the other guys at bay, as we've already got a 2.5 second gap to Jaeger, our main rival. I knew I had Marcus in my back pocket. It's Jaeger who is my main problem. Of course, the only guy who can probably really challenge us this race, I mean, there is Pixelmeister, but he started a bit further back. So Jaeger, my main problem as we get a virtual safety car. Again, I was really scared because the last time that happened was when I was leading in Azerbaijan and proceeded to bin it in the wall. So I didn't want that happening again. But again, going purple as soon as the restart happened. We got Marcus's holding up a right train as we're now 3 seconds ahead of them. But Jaeger's finally going to get past Marcus's. And all of a sudden, it's looking like it's going to be a really nice showdown between me and my rival Jaeger. Of course, I'm going to have to go for the extra pit stop over these guys. Pixelmeister probably going from soft to medium as well. So I do have to worry about these 1-stoppers. As you can see on lap 11, I had a big enough lead for Jaeger. Actually, about a 5 or 6 second lead by now. Yeah, coming into the pits. And I've done really everything I can in this stint. I've outraced Jaeger. I've outpaced Jaeger. All I need to do now is, on the fresher tyres, just bridge that pit stop gap. We got Lucky Racer who's going to rejoin just ahead of us, but we're going to jump Cryptox. I was going to say quite comfortably, but he's actually going to be right there on the rejoin, and actually he might be able to jump us. Even so, yeah, we're going to be side by side with him, but no, he's going to get us quite clearly. So we're 5th out of 6th, but we're on the fresher tyres. We know that from now on we got the fresher tyres to the end of the race. Let's make this 2-stop work, and let's absolutely bolt for it on our last race. Again, this is one of my cleanest races so far, only picking up the 1 warning on lap 1, but we're going to pick up another one as we try to avoid Cryptox, who lags back to the track. I don't know what he was doing there. He bins it and then teleports back to the track to reset to track. So that puts off a bit. I think we'll be getting 1 or 2 warnings from there and sort of losing 2 seconds, which is crucial considering I really want to get as much time as possible. But going purple now on the fresh tyres, we're closing in Lucky Racer at a rate of knots. Again, seeming to go for soft mediums, and yeah, you can see That's actually Jaeger in the pits from lap 15. So again, he's going from super soft to soft. So a very audacious strategy there from Jaeger. He just knowing he can make the tyre wear last. Meanwhile, Lucky Race is going for a more conservative one stop, soft to mediums. But right now, you can see the gap I've got to Jaeger's like 12 or so seconds. I've absolutely done a worldie on the undercut. I just need to keep pushing now. I can make this two-stop work. I mean, Pixelmeister up in head. He's actually stretching these softs a long time, though. This was worrying me. And he was maintaining the gap up ahead. He's been so consistent the last few races. And all of a sudden, it looked like Pixelmeister, instead of the Jaeger, was quickly becoming my best rival in this race. As we actually pick up our first penalty of the race. As Cryptox is now, unfortunately, out the race. We've only got 4 people left. But it didn't matter. If there was a 20-man grid, I think this still would have been the top 4. So this is all I have to worry about as Pixelmeister finally pits, and I need to really bolt it on this tyres. Pixelmeister rejoining just behind Jaeger, and all of a sudden his overcut has done an absolute wonder. He jumps Jaeger pretty much, and on the fresher tyres as well. I've now got a race on my hands. I can't make these tyres short to the end, even so I've been the fastest guy all race. I've got 12-second buffer to the guy behind, but I have to pit. And unfortunately, we're going to pick up another warning. Make that 2 warnings for the same corner. And all of a sudden, this is not looking good. I was looking so clean up until now. But this might be, this might cue our second penalty. As we're going to go into the pits. A perfect stop there. 49 miles per hour. Just below the speed limit. And we're going to come out behind these guys. But now I just need to push on the pressure tyres. But Pixelmeister dropping Jaeger like a lead balloon. And you can see already, he's just really ouncing that gap. Which, considering he was stuck by Marcus for so long, just shows his pace really recently. And I was really devastated now because the win almost is looking out the question. I'm going to just about rejoin ahead of Lucky Racer, I think. And now I just need to hunt these guys down. I mean, it's still possible, but 11 laps to hunt down, I think, the 5-6 seconds to Jaeger. And a further probably about 2 or 3 now to Pixelmeister, who is going extremely fast on those new super softs as well. So the 2-stop really not working, and Pixelmeister surprising me. I thought he would go soft to mediums like Lucky Racer, but no, he is holding absolute worldie and showing that you can actually do super soft to soft. Something I just wasn't confident enough to do as he picked up my second penalty. Again, I just was panicking right now, just going for the best possible really, as we're just trying to close in Jaeger up ahead. Just trying to get P2 for starts. But I need to be careful of my penalties, especially as Jaeger's really clean. But yeah, we're going purple still. It wasn't as fast as I probably would like, but again, just trying to refrain from penalties. But it looked by now it looked pretty comfortable that we're going to catch Jaeger and actually outpace him for once on a 2-stop strategy at that, not even a 1-stop. So I was really happy with that, but unfortunately we will pick up a 3rd penalty, and by now it's almost certain that we're going to be really P3 in this race, even if we manage to get Jaeger. Because he's obviously probably not got any penalties, and Pixelmeister's too far up the road. But I wasn't going to care. As it was my final race, I didn't care about penalties. I just wanted to race Jaeger. I just wanted to beat Jaeger on track. I knew the penalties weren't deserved, and I knew that all of a sudden, this is my opportunity really. A guy who's been faster than me ever since he really joined this league. A guy who's just had that bit more pace over me in all the leagues I've attended. At the beginning of the season, he was my championship rival, but he just was too fast. And with Kozia dropping out, he clearly won the championship. The fastest driver in the league. But that's not going to stop me trying to get one over on my teammate, off my greatest rival in the league. We're going to pull it off up the inside at my favourite track. And we finally have the pace over Jaeger. We're finally going to pull away from him. And on the final race, I can safely say we finally beat Jaeger in a fair scrap. Even so, he's going to try to come back still. It's not going to be all said and done, even on the fresher tyres. But we're going to defend. He's going to go for the cutback as we go slightly deep. And you can see Pixelmeister 7.5 seconds up the road. So even so, I could probably bridge that down to 5. We're definitely not running the race. Maybe if we had no penalties, we'd have a chance. But yeah, you can see on lap 36, trying to make a 3-second gap to Jaeger, just hoping he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. Pixelmeister wins the race. We're going to cross the line about 6 seconds behind him, but it's not going to be good enough. We're going to be demoted to P3 as Jaeger is not going to have any penalties whatsoever. And yeah, you can see Lucky Racer is actually not far behind as well. The top 4 separated by not that much, but you can see Lucky Racer also jumps me. And my goodness, just my luck really. The final race of the season, Jaeger and Lucky Racer getting no penalties, and me losing that P2, slipping all the way down to P4. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that I don't end my final race on the podium. I'm really quite upset about that, to be honest. But if I didn't have any penalties, I could have easily won the race, just showing how competitive it was, that race. And although I probably could have structured that race a bit better, you can look at it in hindsight, but Peaks and Weister, brilliant strategy. I sort of overlooked his challenge to the race, really. My aim was just to beat Jaeger, and that's exactly what I did on track. And yeah, it was a really nice way to end my final league race. Had a very nice battle, and for me, I finished P2 that race. I don't care about the penalties. I finished P2, and if anything, at least P3, because 1 or 2 of my penalties were a bit dubious at that. But yeah, there it is. League racing done and dusted. 2 years, 2 months since I joined the THL, starting Monaco, starting at Monaco really, season 1 of THL 2014. Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been an absolute journey, and hopefully I can celebrate it in montages in the next few weeks. But I'm really gonna miss this community. They've been so lovely to me, especially all the admins and stuff. I mean, I've been privileged to be an admin myself. But as we go on to the final driver standings, we will still P4 in the end. As I said, Ventrox just had the legs over me in the end. Vladimir Jaeger securing the win after Kozia really left. Kozia P2, Ventrox P3. I will come home in P4, and Wattmaster will cement in the top 5, with Sanyets being P6, even so he didn't really attend the last few races. Cryptox, Pinsenmeister with a really good end to the season. They would slot in just behind. And for the constructors, Ferrari leading Red Bull, we would win the constructors at that. McLaren and Renault behind, but quite a long way behind. And Sauber P5. But yeah, at least I managed to win the constructors with Jaeger. Sort of carried a bit by Jaeger, but it is what it is. And yeah, thank you very much for coming through me, with me on this journey the last 2 years. It's been just really amazing, really. And I will really miss this community. And hope to see you, all the people I've raced, hope to see them all again, because it's really been my honour, really, to race them. So, yeah, I say that with all my heart. So, yeah, stay tuned for the next few weeks, where I'm just going to wrap up, really. But until then, thank you very much for sharing this journey with me.